Hello, Sad Marcus here, back to talk about the manga pickups, this time for the month of May. Now, this month I didn't pick up quite as many books as I normally do, and I decided to do something a little bit different and divide them up by publisher, so hopefully that'll make it a little bit more organized than they normally are. With that said, I don't want to ramble on too much in this video because I know you were here to check out the manga, so let's get right into it. Okay, we're gonna start the Viz section off with Hirayasumi, a book that if you have watched this channel for any amount of time, you know I absolutely love. It is the only one of the Viz books this month that I've actually read, and let me tell you what an incredible volume. Really enjoyed this one. This was so cool. Hirayasumi is just Hirayasumi. We've got 5 of them going right now, and I couldn't be happier to be reading this series. If anything, every month I'm just like, give me more Hirayasumi because damn, this is a fantastic series. If you're not reading this, read it. You will not be disappointed. But Hirayasumi Volume 5, they're coming out like once every 2 months. So yeah, great book. Next up, we have Colette Decides to Die Volume 3. Now, once again, I have not gotten through Volume 1. I haven't revisited since I've said I haven't gotten through Volume 1. So to be fair, I haven't revisited it, but 3 volumes out now. This one came out, I think, like mid-May or whatever. So yeah, I think I'm gonna read it at some point in time because, you know, at this point, I have 3 omnibus volumes. There's no real reason for me not to give this a try because otherwise, like, I need to drop this series if I'm not like a big fan of it. But everyone that I've seen that has read this really enjoys it, so I don't see any reason why I won't enjoy it. I just have to find that sticking point for myself. But yeah, Colette Decides to Die Volume 3, Omnibus 3. Next up, we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Volume 13. Yes, 13 of these out now. Frieren has just been a sensation. Yes, I agree. It did get robbed at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, like Solo Leveling. Come on, bro. But listen, who cares? Like, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. We still get to read this fantastic book. I really don't want to flip through it too much because it's going to give me spoilers, so I'm flipping through it kind of fast. I'm at about Volume 7 now. I really need to kind of step up my Frieren reading game, and it's not even like these are hard to read. I just tend to focus a little bit more on romance series and invest a little bit more in those. But yeah, Frieren Volume 13 out and ready to read, so we'll be tapping into this in the very near future. Next up, we have Firefly Wedding Volume 2, one that, like I've said before, I found this through Manga Recaps. And yeah, I know it's a pretty enjoyable series. I haven't quite gotten to Volume 1 yet. I know that one's like on my read list. I'll probably have it read before the end of this week, or I will start reading it before the end of this week. But even flipping through this, I've seen, I think, this far in Manga Recaps, so I know exactly what happens, but I always lament the value of reading the actual words on the page as opposed to having a shitty AI read it. But yeah, the artwork is really solid in this book. I think the storytelling is kind of cool too. So I'm really excited to read it and just kind of like lock in and see where it goes. I definitely think I will be a lot more committed to it by the time we get Volume 3 of this out. But yeah, Firefly Wedding Volume 2 out and ready to rock. Next up, You and I Are Polar Opposites. This is a really cute series. I just finished Volume 3 of this recently and I enjoyed it. Once again, I enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm ready to lock back in. I'm really interested to see what's going on the secondary couple, actually, because there is a secondary couple in this book and they're just as interesting as the main two. But yeah, the main two are really cute together. They're definitely like very different, but I love how they're kind of having a positive effect on one another and, you know, bringing each other out of their shells and teaching each other a little bit more about like themselves. They're learning more about themselves through each other. So I think that's a cool story, you know, to tell. And it's really cute and the artwork is really cute and it's kind of quirky. And I always find myself laughing when I read this book. So yeah, 5 of these out. I think this one also ends at like Volume 7. I don't think this one's ongoing. I think this one's done, but I think this ends at Volume 7. So it's not even a huge commitment. Now, I could be wrong about that. Let me know down in the comments if I am. But either way, I think it's a really cute series and worth a read. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Was from Seven Seas / Ghost Ship. The first one being Gene Bride, Volume 1. This is one that I have read and I really enjoyed this book. I really like this. Like, I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to like it, to be completely honest with you. Mine has like a little bend or something on it. But yeah, I like this a lot more than even I thought I was going to like it. Like, it looked interesting flipping through it, but like once I actually read the story, I was like, damn, this kind of slaps. So yeah, it's basically about this girl. She's like a I don't know if she works for a news station or like a podcast or like an independent production or something of that nature. But yeah, she just like interviews people, and you know, she's like a relatively attractive girl, whatever. So she gets hit on a lot, and it's like obviously like a little creepy to her, whatever. So, but the long and short of it is she ends up running into this guy that she was in like grade school or middle school with or whatever. And they have kind of like this weird connection because the program was called like Gene Bride or something like that. And basically like they committed to marry each other. It didn't really seem like that serious, like on the surface, but basically they get together and they start talking, and she thinks he's kind of like a nice guy or whatever. So she's asking him to like come on like these like things with her, like these interviews with her or whatever, just to kind of help her out because guys are so creepy or whatever. And so they're kind of like reconnecting and all of that stuff. And he's like a little bit quirky. He has like these weird things about him or whatever, but they're like reconnecting over like that old grade school, middle school they were in. And so yeah, they're like kind of looking back on that and digging up clues on that because she's trying to find like one of her old friends. And yeah, it kind of takes a little bit of a sci-fi twist like right at the end. So interesting story, a little bit heavy-handed sometimes, and it's like, you know, and I don't mean this in a bad way because it doesn't bother me, but I know some people will kind of call this out and feel like a way about it, but it does get a little heavy-handed, and it's like feminist politics, I guess. You know, once again, does not bother me. Most women I talk to feel the same way as she does in this book, but I know some of you guys out there will read this and, you know, kind of turn your nose up at it. And I'm like, just be kind of open-minded, because this is like telling the perspective from a woman that you don't really get kind of like every day, you know, at least in like a genre like this. And I think that's like really cool. But beyond that, that's like not the only thing that makes the story cool. I think just it's a really well-written story with some really interesting things, and it's a short series, so it's only like 4 volumes. So would definitely recommend this book. Next up, we have I'm in Love with the Older Girl Next Door, and I loved this book. I did read this one and I loved it. It is so cute. It's basically about this middle schooler who lives next door to this high schooler, and he has like a little crush on her, and like their thing is they watch movies and stuff together. And yeah, he has a crush on her, and he's like basically telling her that, and she's like, listen, like if you knew me, you wouldn't feel that way about me. So like obviously she has some things about herself that she's like not the most confident in. And like the thing is, this kid is like super emotionally intelligent and like smart enough to kind of self-reflect, even if he doesn't have a lot of experience with like relationships and liking people. And so he recognizes that, and he recognizes that, hey, like, okay, maybe I need to analyze why I like this person, or, you know, maybe I need to figure out more about this person, or maybe I need to be more empathetic. And I think that's like really cool of him. You know, like he clearly doesn't know what he's doing, but he tries to learn more and figure out what he should do, or what he should be learning, or what he should be finding out, or how he should be responding to situations. And I think that's like a really cool way to write a character, especially a character this young. So was really impressed with this book. I will continue reading this because I really enjoyed it. Next up, we have another volume of Heroine Saint. No, I'm all works made and proud of it. I am a little behind on this. There are 3 volumes out now. I've read 1, did really enjoy the first one. I'm not really gonna go through like a synopsis of it or whatever, but yeah, looks like they're just continuing the story, and it should be pretty fun because that first volume was a whole lot of fun. Like I had a lot of fun reading this book, a lot more fun than I thought I was. So I'm interested to see like where they take it, and if they can kind of keep up the pace and keep me interested in what's going on with this. So another one that's gonna be read like, you know, relatively soon. Yeah, so Heroine Saint, no, I'm all works made and proud of it, volume 3. Next up, we have another volume of a book that I have been loving, and that is Magical Buffs. The support caster is stronger than he realized. This book is so hype. I love it. It is just good, dumb fun. The main character is pretty chill, pretty like not that confident or whatever, but like he's so like lit and powerful, and like everybody around him is like really cool too, except for his old party. I love this book. Volume 3 was just as good. I've watched a manga recap on this, so I knew what happened, but I still read it. I read these as soon as I get them because I really enjoy this. Of all of those like kicked out of my party books, this is like one of the best ones. So if you like that kind of like, I guess, slop for lack of a better term, I think that this is a great book to pick up because it was just fun, great to read, and I'm always looking forward to the next volume to come out, even if I know what happens. And last but most certainly not least, we have Do You Like Big Girls, the thick edition, and this would be the third omnibus, volumes 5 and 6. Obviously, I'm not going to flip through this. If you know me or have been watching this channel and my hauls for a while, you know how much I vibe with Do You Like Big Girls. Yes, I fucking do. Enjoy this book. It's still wrapped in plastique for a reason, but yeah, I'll probably be flipping through this very soon when I got some free time. So yeah, this is all the Ghost Ship / 7 Seas books. Bomb. So next up, we have our Yen Press books, and the first one is going to be Kindergarten Wars, which is all the rage right now. I think Yen Press is really pushing this one hard. I did read this one and I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. It's a little goofy and quirky, but it's basically about a bunch of like former assassins who basically get sentenced to protect these like high profile kids at this particular like kindergarten or whatever, keep them from getting killed. They're pretty raw assassins. The main character, this girl here, is just obsessed with boys. So every time she meets like a rival assassin, she's like basically trying to see if she can make him her boyfriend. So yeah, some really quirky characters in this particular book. It was fine. Like I definitely would probably say before you commit to this physically, I would probably give it a few volumes or maybe read a few chapters ahead online or something to that effect, because there's a lot happening in this book, as you can see action wise, but there's not a ton of substance to it quite yet. Like the characters are relatively flat in my opinion. You know, just my opinion. I think the characters are kind of flat, but it's still some really fun action and some really like goofy laughs. So if you want to hop down on the first volume, I'm not going to say don't get it, but I definitely think I would probably wait until they're about 3 volumes in to see if there's any substance, at least before you buy it physically. But I think it could be like a really fun read online. I've already bought volume 1 and I think there's enough in there to make me at least want to buy the next 2 volumes and really decide whether or not I want to commit to this book. But yeah, this was a decent book and one of the few kind of first volumes in this haul. So Kindergarten Wars volume 1. Next up, we have Oshinoko Volume 10. Oshinoko is Oshinoko. If you know Ko, you know Ko. You feel me? So yeah, always enjoy getting a new volume of Oshinoko. I am really far behind. I think I'm about midway through the English volume, so I'm probably at volume 6, maybe 7, and it's been months since I read one. I just continue to buy Oshinoko because I love the series and I like to support it. You can tell by the number of Oshinoko figures I have. I really love the series and I feel like I'll just read it whenever. I also really love the anime, and it's one of those series that I personally feel like is better watched than read, though I think the manga is really good. The anime is just that good, and I think it's rare that you get an anime that finds a way to surpass its source material, especially when the source material is so good. And on a side note, I want to say that as an Oshinoko fan, I want to push back on all this hate the series gets for the ending, and I've always been kind of thinking about a way I could do this. I think that the series ending matches up with the themes perfectly. Aqua's lived a life. He was an adult. He's already been a doctor, so it doesn't really make it, even if it is a different type of medicine, does not make a whole lot of sense for him to go back and be a doctor again, especially if he's not going to be an actor, number 1. Number 2, his whole purpose was to get revenge for Ai and also to protect Ruby, and that's exactly what he accomplished with that particular ending. Also, like, if you guys want to get in the weeds about like real world implications on why he had to do what he had to do instead of letting the police deal with it, Japan has a very different type of justice system to begin with. So there was a good chance that, you know, the criminal would get out and perpetrate the same crimes. Also, he had a crazy network. Like, look, you can disagree with how it was executed, and I think that the execution could have been better. I think there are some plot threads that are left hanging. I feel like that is inevitable in a lot of books, but to say that it doesn't match up with the themes of the book, like, I feel like Aka pretty much told you that this was like how this book was gonna end regardless. Like Aqua was just not gonna come out on the other end of that well. And so I never really expected Aqua to be, I don't know, a part of the ending. How we really got there, I didn't know, but I never really expected him. Like, you know, losing Aqua was like not that big of a deal to me. So yes, once again, there are some issues with the ending, but to feel like it is not like on theme, or the story that had been told or a part of the story did not match up with the story that we were being told, I think is a little disingenuous. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, moving on, Takashi from the Bike Shop. This is one that I have not read. I have not read volume 1. I've heard really good things about it. So this is another one that I plan to read in the very near future. I think the covers are absolutely beautiful in these. Like, it just has this like really watercolor or like color pencil kind of look to it, which I think is really like nice, cute, kind of nostalgic. And I love the way they do the artwork on the covers. But yeah, basically this girl meets this guy who, you know, in my opinion, at least looks a little bit like a delinquent at a bike shop when she's getting her bike fixed, and they kind of start a little romance, and that's the long and short of it. And I think, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I like those kind of romances. And I think that they're both adults too, which is nice. I mean, even if they're young adults, which is hard for me to relate because I'm an old man, but like still, it's better than them being like high schoolers, which is kind of cool. Artwork looks really solid in this too. So really excited to kind of see, you know, a good story about a guy who looks like rough and mysterious on the outside, but is really like a sweetie on the inside. So yeah, looks like a fun series to read. Excited to kind of delve into this one. And it's cool that these are coming out so fast too. So yeah, Takashi from the Bike Shop, volume 2. The last book we picked up is a light novel. I have been reading The Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena's manga. I think I've read 3 volumes of the 5 that are out, and there's a 6th one coming out very soon. And I decided that I wanted to read the light novel, and I have not been disappointed so far. I've read maybe like the first 2 or 3 chapters of this, and I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I typically have a tough time reading light novels, and it's just words, so there's not much for me to show you. But I typically have a tough time reading light novels. Just too many words on the page. I'm stupid, okay? I'm stupid monkey brain. I want to see pictures and word bubbles. But the way that this is written, it's written in a way that it's very easy to read. A lot of these light novels are for like young adults anyway, or for teens to like young adults, but it's real easy breezy reading. It's pretty much exactly what's in the manga, even if things are kind of ordered a little bit differently. And that's what I noticed. I started watching the anime too, and things are ordered a little differently in all 3 mediums, but for the most part, like the way things are happening the same way. It just feels like it's a little bit more descriptive, and I think a little bit like some of the implications are a little bit darker in the light novel. But yeah, started reading it, enjoyed it. We'll probably finish it. I think there's like 15 of these out. So I don't know how I'm going to collect all of these, but I do think I'm going to at least pick up the first 6 volumes of this and read them, and then just pick one up every now and again. But yeah, Wandering Witch, Journey of Elena, light novel. This is like maybe my 4th light novel because I have 3 ReZero light novels, but this one I will probably actually read, unlike the ReZero ones. So yeah. Okay, so next we have the Kodansha releases, which are pretty light this month, only 3 books, but the first one is going to be Thunder 3 Volume 4. Now, I've talked about how much I enjoyed the first 2 volumes of this series. I have not read 3, and I just recently got 4 in May, and so I haven't gotten around to this one, but so far it has been a fantastic book. Great artwork, really cool premise, really just a lot of cool stuff going on in this book. I don't want to flip through and give myself too much of it because I don't want to spoil myself and know, you know, what's going on. But yeah, really cool book. If you like a little sci-fi, a little action, a little fantasy too. I mean, I guess it's a little bit, it's mostly like action and sci-fi, but yeah, worlds colliding type stuff. This is a really cool book. I would definitely recommend it. It is from the creator of Gaunt. Yeah, good book. We'll pick it up. Next up, we have Shimazaki in the Land of Peace, a book that I feel like is criminally underrated. This is a fantastic story that really makes you think. I have described what this is about before. I also talked about it in some of my favorite books of 2025 so far, so I'm not gonna go through too much of that, but yeah, just a cool book, cool artwork. Like, I really love the way this book is drawn. It just has like a certain amount of grittiness and charm charm to it that just makes it awesome. Like, just love this book. I love like the main character. I love the people that they introduce into like the story. I like the questions that it makes you ask yourself when you're reading it about like the nature of war and terrorism and, you know, leading a fulfilling life. Like, all of those things are really kind of covered this book in the most nuanced ways. And I just love it. It's a great book. It's a great book, and it has like this just really clean action to it when it does have action panels. Yeah, would definitely recommend this one. And last but not least, we have Versus 3, which I have read, and I have really been enjoying this story so far. It is a really fun kind of sci-fi fantasy. This is where the sci-fi fantasy is, but a sci-fi fantasy book. A lot of humor in it, a lot of hopelessness, but just a really cool book, really well drawn, some really great action panels, just really dope book. Would definitely recommend it. It's another one that I just don't hear a lot of conversation around, and I don't know why. I would think this would be a lot more popular, especially because it is coming from the creator of One Punch Man, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of really great stuff in here. It's very different than like One Punch Man and also like Mob Psycho, and I think that just shows like One's versatility. Like, some of the character designs feel familiar, and obviously like that's probably, he didn't draw the book, but I'm assuming that he created and came up with the characters just because they do have some similarities with some things that you would see in One Punch Man, art style, everything. But very different subject matter, very different things happening in this book, and I think that's cool, man. I think it's a good book. I don't know why people aren't reading this and why people aren't talking about this, because it should definitely get a lot more love, especially in the manga community. And like, I just feel like if you like action books, if you like that shonen style action with maybe a little bit more of a mature twist with some good jokes, this is a great book. I would recommend it. And finally, we are doing the best of the rest. I have 3 volumes from publishers that I only have 1 volume each from. This first one's going to be from Kana, and it's Eden of Witches. Once again, if you have been watching this channel, you know how much I love this series. I have talked about it in depth, so I would recommend you watching that video I made on volume 1 if you want to know a little bit more of what's happening in this book. But yeah, this is a great book. This volume 3 might have been the best one so far. I think volume 1 and volume 3. Volume 2 was like a little bit of a bridge, and there was some really cool stuff happening in that book, don't get me wrong, but this one just like ramps everything up, and we meet like a new villain in this one, and this villain is so terrifying in like her own way. She is very creepy and terrifying in her own way. And so yeah, another great offering. Kana's killing it with this book. Eden of Witches is killing it. Like, I look forward to new volumes of this every time they drop, and they've been putting them out like pretty quick, and I love the way they do like the books too. Like, I love that they have like the book jacket on them and stuff, just really old school, and they're just really tight and tidy, like they can fit in a cargo pocket. So I think this is just really dope. I wish more books came in this size, to be honest. Next up, another book that I was not terribly sure about, but I ended up reading it, and I love this book. Merry Witch's Life, which is about, really, it's 3 widows. This is the witch, she's the one witch, but 3 widows, they all have lost their husbands, and they end up deciding they want to bring their husbands back from the dead. Now, she is not particularly good at magic, pretty much at all. She is a beetle that can turn into a human, and we don't know what she is quite yet. But yeah, it's just them in this like quirky little town, living like this weird little town, and with all these weird people, and there's like a lot of magic in the air, and yeah, it's cool. It's them living their lives, reminiscing on their husbands, and, you know, trying to figure out a way to bring them back while also just integrating and interacting with the town. So yeah, I thought this was a really cute book, and this one came from Tokyo Pop. So Tokyo Pop is back, and I've heard a lot of the stuff that they've been delivering lately has been solid. This is the first Tokyo Pop book that I picked up from the current iteration, and I have really enjoyed this book. I'm looking forward to volume 2 of this. Just a really cute slice of life with a little bit of romance in there as well. So really great book. Would recommend this one if you like this type of stuff. And last but most certainly not least was Wash It Away. I loved this one too. I loved it. It was so adorable with like a little bit of twinge of mystery, but our main character is basically running this like laundromat. She just loves like washing clothes, and it's not even a laundromat, it's more like a dry cleaner, but she just like loves washing clothes and, you know, loves helping people. You know, she's like running around town making deliveries and picking up people's stuff. Like, she's just like awesome and really integrating into the town and making friends, and everybody just loves her. Thing is, she has lost all her memories. The only thing that she really knows how to do is this work that she's doing. And so the question becomes, by the time you get towards the end of the manga, is there something that she's running away from, or maybe something supernatural happening here, or what? But like, she just can't remember who she was. The only thing that she can really remember is that, like, hey, I can do this laundry really, really well. And so yeah, it's just her kind of going around interacting with this town, doing laundry and, you know, making friends and doing all the cool stuff along the way. And then you get a little bit of that mystery at the end. This one definitely feels like it was probably more of a one shot with, you know, the mystery thing kind of tacked on at the end to kind of give it a reason to exist. But I think it's a really well done one shot with added stuff, and it makes me want to read more. If it is just her doing laundry and interacting with these people throughout the course of it, I would still be like very happy with that, because this is a great slice of life story. Really charming, really, really adorable. Loved it. Yeah, Wash It Away, Volume 1. And so that's going to be pretty much all the manga I picked up this month. So now back to Cartoon Marcus. Well, there you have it, my friends. All of my pickups for the month of May. Now, I know this is coming out kind of late. In fact, I'm recording this pretty much at the end of June. So with that said, June, I definitely didn't pick up a ton of books. So you probably won't see another pickups video until July. I'll probably do like a little combined thing there. Anyway, if you enjoyed this or any of my other content, do me a favor, yo. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Of course, if you got anything out of this video, click the like button and, you know, turn on those post notifications. Let me know that you fucks with your boy the long way, you feel me? And I'm gonna continue doing what I feel like I do best, at least, and that's delivering you this fire content. So until the next video, you'll probably enjoy one of the two on the screen, and like I always say, let's talk about the things that we like, the things that we don't, and everything in between. Until next time, peace.